strong will, or he's just a talented man who's writing a book. We're gonna know all about this more with Ori. Hi, Ori. Sorry, I'm so excited to have you.
Good morning, Natalie. I love your opening. You are an extremely awesome person. I must say that. You were blessed with a unique ability, and it comes right through. You're very sincere, honest, and that's why we became friends.
It's an honor for me, Ori. I swear to God, you give me goosebumps. And I believe that nothing happens by accident. Everything happens for a reason. And I'm honored for this friendship. And I'm honored to have someone like you as a friend in my life who is advocate for good. And after having so much in his life, I mean, I'm looking, guys, I want to share this with all of you, okay? I want to share this. I mean, this person that you're seeing, that he's friends with me, and not only you have to read the book, you should see that he's honorable even in his book. And we cannot see that. We just see honor in people who are religious. We try to find there. We try to find in people who are doing goodness, charitable things. But people who are calling these guys Italian mafia, they have respect to others and they help. And this person who is like an author today that the whole world is talking about him, Orispedo, he hasn't only been friends with so many people that we know and we read about, like, I mean, it really scared me. I mean, I was like saying Jimmy Cacci, Joey Dial, Tony Gambino, Carlos Gambino, Mayor Lersky, Carlos Marcello, I don't know if I'm saying right the pronunciation, Frank Russo, and it's very impressive. Sony like Francesco is the Colombo crime family boss, and John Gotti, the boss of Gambino crime family. And this person who is writing this book, Ori, he is not only was surrounded and lived his life with Italian mafia members, but also with celebrities that we just see them on stage and we cannot even approach them, like Dean Martin, Frank Sinatra, Tony Bennett, Vic Damon. Oh my God, Ori! Okay, I'm gonna stop here. I'm not going to go to the filmmakers now, the MGM and Mayor Lansky, Ralph Sapp. I'm going. And John Connolly, who writes in Vanity Fair, and Frank Riolo, who is chief officer of in board for, I don't know, in Vegas, right? And he has his connections with FBI, and I don't know. I mean, this person has it all. Why? Let's ask him. Ori, why do you have it all?
Why? You know, I asked myself that question, and I think the answer probably is because I try to treat everybody equally. I can talk to the President of the United States just as well as I'll talk to a homeless person on the street and give them both the respect that they deserve. It's just something that's within me. On the other hand, there is another side, as the judge said when he sentenced me. Mr. Spado, he said, when I sentence somebody like you, I feel like I'm sentencing two different people. On one hand, I got a guy to take care of his family, his friends, everybody loves him. He does a million things for him. He said, but on the other hand, I have a man that's got the power to dispatch people anywhere in the world to do whatever he requests. And then he sentenced me.
And how do you feel, I mean, if you go back in time, what do you think that the most vulnerable part of Boris Spado gave him the decision to rise and to be a part of Italian mafia and with Sonny, your relationship and everything. And how do you feel when you go back in time? What was the main reason that make you want to be a part of this risky life? Was it by accident or the power, the money, or you just went with the flow and one day you just became like the fixer of Hollywood without even knowing it? What was it?
Yeah, that there was the fixer of Hollywood. That just came about because of my ability to talk. And I remember with Dino De Laurentiis and Ross Urquhart, they were filming a movie here in Los Angeles. And an actor was given a problem, and which happens often with actors and directors on a set. And the actor, they always think they know more than a director, and then there's a little conflict, and that puts the picture behind on budget. It could cost more money, and so because they were friends, they told me about the problem. I said, I can handle that there. So I went on a set and I sat down with the actor and the director, and I handled it in my nice, easygoing way. And they both understood, the actor understood, and the movie went on, and it was a very big success too. And just from there, word got around to other executives in Hollywood, the studios, agencies, lawyers, so forth, and so that's how that happened.
I mean, when I was reading the book and I couldn't stop, and I don't usually, as an author, I just go to books that are related to my soul, but I never believed that I could just be so much interested in a book like this. And I was trying to read between the lines. I'm like, okay, he is the fixer of Hollywood. So I can connect you somehow with Ray Donovan, because I watched the series, like he goes there, he breaks, he kills people, and he does things for celebrities, for people in Hollywood, and in the end, he's the one in trouble. And I was just trying to find, where did Ori write this thing? There was nothing in the whole book. I was like, seriously, Ori, give me something. Give me something. I mean, is it the respect to them which made you not to write about the kind of problems, or the fearing you to avoid more problems, or is it something else that make you avoid not writing details about how you fix things in Hollywood? It's between the lines, but you cannot find it.
Well, I'm a person, I don't believe that I should talk bad about other people. I don't think that I should be mentioning everybody's names and so forth. And I remember my dear friend Nick Pileggi, who wrote Goodfellas and Casino and other movies.
I love that movie, Casino.
And Nick was the first one, along with Jack Gilardi, that read my manuscript. And Nick called me up. Nick's got a home in New York. He's got a home here. I just spoke to him this morning. And he called me up. He said, Ori, you got a great book here. He said, you did a great job. He said, but Ori, he said, you don't say nothing bad about anybody. He said, that's unusual. I said, Nick? I said, A, number one, I was never an informant. B, number two, those people were my friends. And they still are my friends. And I don't have anything bad to say about them. I said, what the public thinks is one thing, but, I was on the phone with a lady this morning, that sort of likes me, and she asked me about a particular individual that I happen to know, and he's another gangster out here in Hollywood, I said, yes, I know him. She said, what do you think? I said, he's a good guy. Why do you ask? And she said, well, she says, he lived in my neighborhood. He was just doing things for me and my daughter, he said. Never wanted nothing in return or anything. I said, well, that's how we people are. We always want to help other people. We're always for the underdog. You know, everybody needs some help someplace. And if people ask me for their help, they're going to get it. And, you know, asking for people for help is not an easy thing. But I learned that long ago. If I had a problem with something, I tell people, I need your help. If you're in the sales business, best way to get to meet somebody is say, I need your help. And people will help you. But anyways, no, I don't have anything bad to say. Although there might be some bad things about some people that I don't go along with, but I'm not the person to judge. I've done countless of interviews, probably over 100 of them by this time, and I never done an interview with an informant. I've been asked, and there's a block between me and asking, going on a show like that with somebody who was an informant. And, you know, like yourself, I only read books that I enjoy. I read Daniel Silva, Michael Connolly. I read countless of authors. I don't read gangster books.
You lived it. How will you read
And I got a lot of them here. And I'm going to tell you why. First of all, in today's world, the world has changed. Most of the books that are written by informants is a bunch of lies. I already know it is because they've been trained to lie. They lie on a witness stand. They lie at everything else. That's just their nature. So I know the book's going to be a lie. The first thing I ever do when I buy any book at all, if I'm in a bookstore and I want to read a book about somebody, this is a true story, first thing I look for is the index. My book has an index because I'll look at names that they want to talk about in the book. If they don't have an index in the book, I feel it's going to be a crappy book.
I'm looking forward to hear your opinion about my book, Masks.
About what?
Honestly, I mean, I don't know. I think that when I connected with you and I was reading the book, it wasn't as I expected because I saw in some ways the kindness, as you said, and even the respect to women. Like you said, like mafia members, they don't approach a woman who belongs to someone else. I'm like, they kill people and they respect that. I mean, how does it make sense? And it didn't make any sense to me. And then the FBI members, they let him wear a wire, and then he recorded an Oprah Winfrey show. Like, oh my God! I mean, and still people like.
I didn't wear a wire. It was a tape recorder. They tried to get me to be an informant. What I did was I taped the FBI.
Why didn't you accept it? Wouldn't it have been easier for you to accept it?
No, I wasn't an informant. They were trying to get me to be an informant. And they left the tape recorder with me. It was one Friday. I needed some money. So I came up with the idea because every time the FBI were trying to talk to me, they only wanted to talk about Italian gangsters. So I taped the Oprah Winfrey show. I think it was Oprah Winfrey. I taped her show. And at 5 o'clock on a Friday, I called the FBI agent. I said, I got a tape. I got this guy, I got that guy. He said, oh, I'll come and get it. I said, oh, hold up. I said, you got to pay me for it. What do you mean? I said, I want $5,000. He said, $5,000? He said, where am I going to get it? Banks are closed. I said, you're the FBI. You figure it out. He called me back and he had me meeting him at a baseball park. I got there, I had the Oprah Winfrey recording, and he said to me, I have the recording. I said, give me the money.
You know,
And he gives me the money, I give him the tape, and I leave. By the time I walked into my apartment, my phone was ringing. He said, what the hell is this? This sounds like a TV show. I said, what do you want from me? I don't know how to use that equipment. I had 12 tapes on the FBI. That was a very fatal mistake in my life. I went on record with a boss because Sonny Franchese was in prison at the time. And Jimmy Cossie said, oh, you're going to get in trouble. I had Jimmy go back to Buffalo, play the tapes for Joe Todaro, who was the boss of Buffalo. And he owned a big pizza. He's still in business. Pizza place. They called me. They were laughing. They wanted me to continue doing it. That way I would always know what the FBI were doing. But I was getting in too much trouble. It was too much trouble. And so I had a meeting with him. I brought the lawyer. The lawyer said, Mr. Spado's not going to be an informant. Ended it. But the FBI agent got demoted off the organized crime task force with the FBI. Now you got to remember, that's an elite task force for a special agent in the FBI to get on. And he got demoted from that there because of me, because of what I did. And they put him on a fugitive squad. Today he's the head of the fugitive squad. And he's the guy that gets credit for capturing Whitey Bulger. So I think he owes me a favor, huh? But anyways,
that favor or not yet?
he showed.
When we talked together and I read the book and we connected, I feel that you have this amazing connection with Jimmy Caci and his very famous Italian mafia, member. And we see him in movies and also like Sonny Francis, right?
Yeah.
Am I saying it right?
You said it right. You got it right.
And he's a Colombo crime family member. But you were like, at some point, had a very interesting sentence in your book when you talked about his son Johnny, that he became like informant and he just used a wire and with the FBI against his own father and against you, and you just put a question mark, like, I don't know if he just thinks that he was better than us, meaning you and Sonny and the old other Italian mafia gang members. So you didn't even try to judge him. Why do you think that these things happen? Is it out of fear or it's related to character?
I have no fear of Johnny or anybody. I don't fear no man. I don't fear anything.
But these people who are becoming informants against the
Well,
Italian mafia,
what the thing is,
or
when they
saw something better?
once they become a government informant, they fall under the jurisdiction of being law enforcement, and most of them go on the witness protection program. which Johnny was on for several years, and then he came out of it. A lot of them have come out of the witness protection program and are, living their lives in the open today because things have changed so much and nobody's doing anything to them. They got nothing to fear. And there's sometimes, I never condone it because, we live a life. I feel what happens to me is my responsibility. I caused it, not you, not somebody else. Okay, it was me, whatever it was. And so I can't blame nobody else, and I'm not going to talk about anybody else. It's like I got arrested, I kept my mouth shut, I did my time. And I feel that's the way everybody should do it. Do I feel the laws in this country are legal and just? No, I do not. We have some of the worst laws in the world. The United States is 5%. 5% of the world's population, but yet we house 25% of the world's inmates. Figure that one out. Why? Because in the United States, prisons is big money. Not to you, not to me, but it is to a certain group of people who have money. So, there are a lot of laws that are unjust, unfair, and long prison sentences. And there's a lot of guys in jail who should not be in jail. Yes, we do have some people in prison who should be there. You got murderers, you got mass murderers, you got pedophiles. Pedophiles get the least amount of time of anybody. Why is that? Why does a guy who goes out after little boys and little girls gets less prison time than some guy who's dealing marijuana? You understand the unjustness in the laws of this country? And
When we're talking about this unfair things that is happening in prisons, what is Ori's first emotion when you just went to prison and the doors were closed and you sat there? What was the first thing that you felt inside, either negative or positive? Can you just give me an explanation? I mean, I couldn't find it in words in the book. I felt I should talk and see how you say it with your voice. You know what I mean? I mean, as much as you write it, I just want to ask you, what was the first thing that you felt? Was it here?
well, I think if you read anything in my book, then you understand that I believe in the power of positive attitude and what the mind can conceive and believe you need to achieve. And, everything that we do in life begins in our head. Everything here, it's a mindset. I knew or had the feeling that a day would come that I would be arrested. You don't know when, you never expect it. It's not going to come at a time that you want it to come. And nobody ever wants it to come, but it comes.
Now, how come you go on doing what you're doing if you know that you're going to be arrested?
Well, when I first got arrested, I laughed because when they showed me the paper, they only had one charge on there. I said, I'll be out by dinner time. Yeah, I was, 62 months later.
But dinner time. And it was burger, right, with your son?
Yeah.
I watched Ray Donovan, I have watched Casino, I have watched Godfather, Goodfellas, all of them, I mean, Bugsy. And how much do you think they give the correct image of the gangsters? the mafia members? Do they
They don't. They
right by
glorify.
them?
People ask me, when was the downfall? And I don't like to say the word mafia,
What
okay?
do you want to call it?
Mafia,
What do you want?
organized crime, La Cosa Nostra. What was the downfall? Was the movie The Godfather. And why? Because it glorified our lives. Our life is not a glorious thing. Yeah, we had different perks than a lot of people. You know, never waited in line. A lot of restaurants we didn't have to pay and things like that there. But it's not glorious. I do not condone it. I try to teach the young men and women not to get involved in a life because it's a thing. It's 24 hours a day. All right? You got to hustle in the life just like you do in regular business. And it's a bigger hustle because you wake up in the morning, what are you going to do today to make money? You got no paycheck coming on Friday, like citizens of the world. Okay, you got to go out and make money every day. You got to have some sort of hustle, a scam, a robbery, whatever you're going to do every day. Okay, now you couple that with you're being followed. In my case, I was being followed by the FBI and the Los Angeles Organized Crime Division, which they glamorize, and it's true. And the movie with Sean Penn called The Gangster Squad. It exists. It really does. They're there. And they're different than any other type of detective in Los Angeles. And they began with trying to rid the town of Italians like myself.
Are you all, I mean, Italians? You have to be Italians to be in the word that you don't like me to say, but I have to say the mafia. I mean, in Italian mafia, you have to be Italian, or non-Italians also can be in real mafia.
Non-Italians become what's called associates. They could be an associate, but they can never be a made member. You gotta be 100% Italian.
So your great-grandfather was, can I say the word mafia? What do you want me to say?
My great-grandfather, not my my grandfather, who I never met. He died before I was born. But he came over from Calabria.
From Italy, right?
Of
Not
Italy,
even
southern Italy, and as a made member of the Ndrangheta, which is the Calabrian Mafia. In Italy, you got several different groups. Everybody's well aware of the Sicilian Mafia. In Naples, you got the Camorra, all right? You got the Ndrangheta, and in northern there, you got different groups. And the Ndrangheta happens to be the largest and the most powerful group in the world.
Wow. And your father did not take that road, right? Because I read about him, and I know that you have amazing children today. And I wanted to ask you, when you became the fixer of Hollywood, I just watched Ray Donovan, okay? And I was like, what is this? And I said, I'm gonna ask Ori the question. Do you think that Italian mafia is a part of the support of making Hollywood what it is today, or Hollywood is a part of the mafia? Now, why are you laughing?
Well, you hit it pretty much on the head, okay? There's been a lot of gangsters involved in Hollywood in a heavy manner. A lot of guys from Chicago were really, really engrossed in Hollywood, and they were big. Yeah, they carried a lot of weight in different areas. Yes, we are involved in Hollywood. It's a funny thing. You know, they know who we are. It's like the government. The government needed us. They reach out to us for certain things.
I was going to ask that to you. I mean, seriously. I mean, they know that the gangsters, the mafias are there, and they don't do anything. They just told you. I mean, I remember you told me in the book. No, you didn't tell me. It was in the book. Like, The FBI member said, a guy said, I'm gonna get you one day. If you're gonna get him, just get him. I mean, I think there is some kind of confusion, and because they need you. So they need the mafia and not the other way around.
Right. Well, he, that there